Hey guys, what's going on? It is Broken Nose Gaming here, and I know it's been like a month since I made anything, and long story short, in the previous videos you may or may not have noticed that my mouth was kind of messed up and I was having trouble speaking and things like that. Essentially, that was the health issues that I was running into, and I had scheduled to get some work done on it. My mouth said, no, we're doing it right now, and essentially I had to have like emergency laser surgery done, and I took some time off, and I'm at the point now where I'm not having a hard time speaking and my mouth doesn't hurt anymore. So I figured, hey, might as well, I can get back to making videos, which is what I've been wanting to do. The other thing too that you may or may not notice is the video capture of me down at the bottom here is a little bit different. Essentially, I've been using NVIDIA Broadcast 2 point whatever it was for a while. I started using NVIDIA Broadcast back in the 1 point days, but this 2.0 version just seems to be like a resource hog, and I decided that maybe it would be better to go back to the older version. And personally, I don't see a huge difference when it comes to the small screen down here on the bottom or sometimes up at the top on the corners, but it doesn't take as much resources, so that's kind of a win for me. And if it does look bad or if it looks different, let me know. But I don't think it's going to be a big issue. We might have to look at it maybe when it's in full screen mode. But those are just a couple announcements I wanted to throw out. I have still been playing War Thunder even though I had been having all this stuff going on. If you look down at our little presets bar down here, you will see the 4 countries that I'm using on my account. I have the US, Germany, USSR, and I actually recently just picked up using China. Mainly because the Chinese tech tree is kind of weird. It's basically just everyone else's stuff put into one tech tree. So it's kind of cool to me that I can use like M4 Shermans and T-34s and Japanese tanks, and it's all mixed up. It's kind of weird. It is not like one of my like trying to get as fast as I can do kind of thing. I'm just kind of playing around with it when I'm bored of the other big 3. Being a beta tester, the US, Germany, and the USSR were basically the 3 tech trees that existed in War Thunder Ground Forces when I was playing, so I have the most progress on that. And as you can see down here, I do have my presets. I do it by battle rating. Yes, I am a scrub. I still play arcade battles. I haven't really tried playing realistic all that much. I do see people play it. My eyes suck though, and like ranging and stuff like that, I just feel like I'm gonna really suck at. Like, I already kind of suck in arcade mode, so leave me alone. But I have made some progress. I've made it up to about 5.0 in US, so like lower mid tiers. Germany, I believe I'm at 5.7. The USSR, I'm also at about 5.7. Granted, I'll probably just breeze through all these really quick. Like, in terms of the US, it's a pretty fun tech tree so far. The low tiers are whatever. This thing's kind of fun. Really fast fire rate. It has heat. This is my all-time least favorite thing. It's literally just a tank with machine guns on it. You can get it to work on like super lightly armored things, but man, that's about it. And then you got to run away. I'll start from the top and go down actually for our tanks here. So if you go up to 5.0, I do have a 5.3, but I don't have anything purchased yet. But I have things like the Shumbo. I have the M4 76 variants, like the EZ8 or the HVSS version. They're unlocked, I just haven't purchased them yet. I am kind of grinding more Silver Lions. I am only at about 2 million right now. But so for like my 5.0, I have the 76mm M4A1, I have a T1E1, M6A1, and then a T14. This premium's new to me. Didn't exist when War Thunder first came out. I've heard some pretty okay things about it. 4.0 is basically just a whole bunch of Shermans. I do have the M4 from the Mobile War Thunder event, and then I have just the standard M4, which is just the non-skinned version. M4A2, which is pretty fun, a little slow, And then I do have the premium, the Ram 2, as they call it in World of Tanks, but here it's called the M4A5. I believe in the UK tech tree, it's called the Ram 2. And I believe they also have the Ram 1 available in the War Thunder tech tree. And then I have an M10. If you go down to 3.3, you're going to see a couple Chappies and a couple Shermans. I have the M24, and then I have the special edition one that they gave away for watching streams, M4A1, the 105 M4, which is fun. The turret traverse is horrible. And then finally, this one's kind of out of BR compared to the 3.3s, but I bought it because it just looks so kind of goofy. This is the LVTA1 with an M24 turret on there, so all of the super fun mobility of the reserve tier BR1 LPTA1 with a M24 turret on the top. It's kind of interesting, but also kind of goofy. It does get blown up quite a bit because it's so slow and everyone just seems to sling APHE at you. For 2.3, again, I brought in another weird one, the Locust. I see a lot of Locusts in this game, even in higher tiers. Don't know why. It is a fun tank, but it doesn't have like the active scouting ability and stuff like that. Neither does the M3 A1 Stuart, which I also have the premium version of as well for the USMC. I also have two different versions of the M5A1. M5A1's pretty fun. I really didn't like it in World of Tanks, but compared here, it's actually really fun. Serves a good role. The active scouting role is pretty cool. And another surprise is the M3 Lee. The M3 Lee is another tank that I did not enjoy whatsoever in World of Tanks. And most of us thought it was a dumb meme tank. Here it's actually useful. You have the multi-turret ability, so you have the smaller turret up here, and then you have your 75. And you can switch out, I've learned, and you don't have to try and fire the secondary armament, which is the 75 in this case. Using the aiming reticle of the 37, you can switch in and out. It's pretty fun. Multi-turret design in War Thunder is actually pretty cool, and it's a shame that World of Tanks could never get this figured out, because this would have made it a lot better and probably a lot more fun to play. As far as Germany is concerned, oh boy, the Panzer II-C. I cannot stand this tank. It's really funny because the Panzer II in World of Tanks is fun. Panzer II in War Thunder is not fun. A lot of Panzer IIIs. I have an E and an F. I also have a 38T. That thing's pretty fun. Panzer IV-C, another tank that wasn't a huge big deal in World of Tanks, but it does okay in War Thunder. And then I got a coupon discount for this guy. The new Baufahrzeug. This is another multi-turreted tank. Well, let me take that back. It's not multi-turreted, it's multi-gun. So it's kind of like the Mouse. You have your 75mm and then you have your 37mm in the same housing here. But it's pretty cool because I really do like using it kind of as like a 1-2. I'll roll in on someone and I'll maybe fire the 75 to disable them, and then I'll finish them off immediately. I'll switch over to the 37 and knock them out. So that's pretty fun. This lineup outside of the Panzer II, I am pretty fun. I like it. For the 2.3, there's a lot more Panzer 4s and 3s. I have the F1 and the E, which essentially are the same thing outside of some slight armor differences between the two. Panzer 3J, which is probably the last of the stub-barreled 50mm Panzer 3s. Stug 3A, and again, the Stug 3 in World of Tanks. I don't think you get this one unless they moved it to collectors, but they call it the Stug 3B. It starts with the 75mm, and then you can get the 105, which is actually an entirely different tank in this game. And then of course I will always call it the Panzer II-H instead of whatever they call it here now. There is one other thing that I picked up for this battle rating, and that's this guy. It's kind of like just a lower end Puma, just down tiered. It didn't exist when War Thunder, when I was playing it in beta test. But armored car with an open top turret versus the closed top. I just kind of treat it as like a worse Puma, but It's not as maneuverable. It is kind of fun though. It has the active scouting ability, which is useful and I do like. For my 3.3 in Germany, I of course have the Puma. Whoops, and I overclicked. I have the Stug 3F. I have the Panzer 3N, which is it's kind of an interesting tank. It fires really fast, but it's using that 75mm that you find on like the Panzer E, the F1, the Panzer C. 4C, sorry. This high up, it's kind of hit and miss. And then I have the 105 variant, which is the Sturmhaubitze, which is essentially that 105 that I was talking about in World of Tanks, where it was called the Stug 3B, I want to call it. Started with that 75mm, and then this was one of the options you can get, but it's its own thing in War Thunder, as it should be, because it is its own style of gun. And then I have the other two. I have one of the long-barreled Panzer 3Ms. Fun tank. Turret traverse kind of sucks. And then I think the really big one in 3.3 for Germany is the Panzer F2, which would probably be called, gosh, the Panzer IV Aus D in World of Tanks, if it even still exists. It may have become a collector's item, but it's essentially the same thing. Real thin armored Panzer IV, but it's got the long, the 75mm. It's the L43, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 75mm KWK 40 L43. And then if we move up to 4.0, you're going to see a lot of Panzer IVs. You got the Panzer IV-G, which is now the L48. I have the Panzer IV-J. Panzer IV-J is cool. It's got the turret armor skirt, but the turret traverse is terrible. Panzer IV-H is probably the all-arounder. It's got skirts on both, and the turret traverse is a little bit faster. I also have a couple premiums in this tier. I have the Churchill, which is kind of fun, but slow, and your backup is just, your reverse speed is terrible. I have the command variant of the Panzer IV-J, which adds some skirts on the hull of the tank, same terrible traverse. And then I think the one that's probably going to be the most fun to everyone is the German Sherman. This guy was in the beta test. You could get it, but this one's, I haven't actually gone in to play BR4 in Germany yet. I've actually been wrapping up getting everyone up to BR4 and above. USA, I'm in BR4 right now. And then I'll probably switch over to Germany, and then I'll probably switch over to the USSR. And then for BR 5.0, I have a few tanks. This tank, I am almost positive did not exist at the time. The VK 3002 or the 30.2M, which is basically just the prototype Panther. Jagdpanzer IV did, because I actually had some stuff ground out on the Jagdpanzer IV. I had this guy already, the German KV-1, which has the 75 L48 inside of it. And then I also had the 38T, or the Hetzer, whatever you want to call it, also already picked up in the tech tree. So I don't know how much grinding I had done on that, but that was another tank that I had been working on. For 5.7, I have the Tiger H1 purchased right now. That's it. I have the Tiger H1. I have not ground anything out on it, and then I have its premium siblings, the Tiger Ost and the Tiger Vest, which will also, I have 3 more slots over here. I believe the Panther is going to be slotted in there as well. So that's what I have so far on my German. I know this is a really boring video because I'm just basically recapping. I will play some replays because I'm going to talk about gameplay as well, coming back to War Thunder after all this time. For the USSR, this one's kind of weird. So my low tier guys, I had the T26, the premium T26. I of course had the reserve. I had the BT5. I had the BT7. I did not have the BT7M, but I also ground the T26-4, which is kind of a weird tank. It's just basically like a T28 turret slapped on a T26. It's kind of fun at really low tiers. But the really interesting one, because I didn't think much of this tank, I bought it out of boredom back in beta tests and stuff like that. I have the T26E, which I can't remember E, but basically it means screens in Russian. And so, like, there's the KV-1E, there's the T-34E, this is the T-26E. So basically same thing. They just welded a bunch of plates onto the turret, and I believe they also... No, they did not. They just welded a bunch of plates onto the turret of the T-26. So there's the Gaijin market now. And I looked, and this thing, a tier 1 point, or battle rating, I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. Battle rating 1.3 little premium tank goes for $50. Dude, you're at the bottom of the tech tree. Why are you $50? So apparently this is something that is sought after by some people, I guess. It is kind of a fun tank. But yeah, mainly I have, what, 4 T26s and 2 BTs at the bottom tier. Battle rating 2.3. I had the Zis 30 unlocked, and I had the T3, which is just basically a Panzer III. I went out and I picked up the T28E, again, E screens, and you can see basically the plates welded onto the T28 turret. I also got the ZU-T37. This is a weird guy. It's supposed to be an SPAA, but you can also kind of use it as like an auto-loading tank destroyer, I guess. The 37mm that's on here is pretty useful and does a pretty good job. So I kind of use it for both. The turret traverse is absolutely terrible for an anti-aircraft at a whopping 12.3 degrees per second. So unless the plane's coming right at me, I'm generally shooting at regular tanks. I also got the BT-7M, which is just, I guess, like an updated version of the BT-7. That, again, was not around when I was playing in beta, or at least I didn't have it unlocked. And then if we bump up to 3.3, I got some weird ones. I had the T-34, the 1940 edition. I had the SU-122, and I also had the T-50. And then for my premiums, I had the T-34 prototype, which, again, is apparently fairly rare. I don't think I see this on the market at all. And then I went and picked up the T-126, which is like a T-34, but really, really, really slow. And then I had room for one more tank, so I got the SU-57B. I kind of treat this thing like the Zis 30 in the previous BR. It has no armor. The 57mm is pretty good. You just can't take a single hit or your tank basically just blows up. So it is fun as long as you're at a distance. But you have absolute just worst gun depression at 5. So, but that's a pretty common thing with Russian tanks. If we go to 4.0, again, another rare tank, the T-34E. Obviously, you can see the thing is basically decked out in screened armor. I also had gotten the KV-2 at the time. Now, the KV-2, this is the problem, and I talked about this in my previous War Thunder video, but like most of my tanks had APCR, and had the wrong ammo types loaded because I didn't understand that you were actually causing damage module-wise, not HP-wise. So I was playing the KV-2 very wrong. Right now, I think I just have it loaded with HE. I am working on getting... I think there's another round that wasn't there when I started playing that I'm going to try and grind and unlock. So that's another tank I have to spade out. I have the 1941 version of the T-34. I also had the L11 version of the KV-1. I have the 1942 version of the T-34, and then I also decided to pick up the SMK just to have like another KV-1-ish multi-turreted tank. I've heard good and bad things about the SMK. It's kind of a weird thing. It's like a weaker armored KV-1 essentially. It still has the L11, but it also has the 45. So you can kind of do that 1-2, or depending on what you're dealing with, maybe the 45 is better than the 76. But that is my 4.0 lineup. And then if we go into 5.0, again, I haven't really set these up all that much yet, but I had the T-34-57 unlocked. I had the KV-1 Zis 5 unlocked. I had the KV-85 unlocked. And then I had room for 2 more, so I ended up getting the KV2, the Ziz 6 version, which is that long 107, and then I picked up the T-34-57, the 1943 version. And then I think in 5.3, I have 2 tanks. That's it. I have the 76 millimeter Sherman from the US that you can get in the USSR tech tree, and then I have the D5T T-34-85, not the S-53, the D5T. I have room for others. I am looking for other tanks to put in here. My 5.7 lineup right now, I don't have anything purchased. I am still really kind of grinding through the Soviet line. Like, I have some T-34s available. I have the T-34 with the ZIS already set up. I am working on the IS-1. I do have a lot of these ISUs. I have SU-85M, ISU-122, ISU-122S. I have a PT-76. So, like, I have tanks available, and I am grinding out some more 5.7s when it comes to the USSR tech tree. As far as China goes, I don't really have anything. I have these 3 guys. I have the 2 reserves, and I have another T-26. I'm not, again, going to spend a whole lot of time in this. I'm only going to have 3 crews for the Chinese tech tree. But I literally have barely just started this. I've started playing it like a couple days ago. Working on the She-Hawk High. I'm going to get like the M3. I do have 2 premium tanks that I had, well, 3 including this guy. But I have the M3A3 and the M4A4. Outside of that, I don't have anything else. But it's really interesting because I do like seeing like U.S. tanks and then, you know, Russian tanks and all kind of mixed together. So, and some Japanese tanks. So it's kind of cool. I'm kind of excited to try this tech tree out as well. Those are going to be the 4 that I'm really focusing on. I am slowly kind of working my way up there. Low tier battles are insane. They're not like what I remembered. Gosh, I want to say it was the Panzer 38TA. I played that thing, and I had a ridiculous match. It was like one of my, I think it was like 13 ground targets were destroyed. Like, it was, I'm gonna be playing some of the replay here. But dude, it's just like non-stop. Low tiers are kind of wild. And I don't really know what to say about them. So I am finding out that there are some like OP tanks in War Thunder. You know, one of the curb stompers that I'm seeing is the KV-1E or KV-1B, depending on what country has it, because Germany has the KV-1B, USSR has the KV-1E. For Japan in the low tiers, I think it's called the Kachi. Basically, it's like this big boat tank, and it has these attachments that you can add, and it basically is just giant bits of spaced armor, and people shoot the hull hoping, you know, they kind of knock it out like the what is it, the LVT-1A. It doesn't work that way. I was actually playing with that double gunned premium 1.3 German tank, and I just slapped the Kachi in the turret like twice. I fired the 76, it knocked out a good amount of the crew, and then I fired, or I'm sorry, the 75, and then I knocked out the rest of them with the 37 I followed up on. That tank, though, it does the same thing. It does like double-digit ground target per game. Another OP tank, quote-unquote OP tank, they're actually selling right now for Sweden. It's called, gosh, what is it called? It is the SAV, what is it called? SAV 201248. Essentially, it's got like a 120 millimeter auto-loading cannon. It's got an absolute just like thin paper armor chassis that it's on, but it can dump. It's like a 6 round or something, 6 or 7 round autoloader, and you can dump rounds like every 1.2 seconds. So that's ridiculous. Like, just dum dum dum. Like the ability to dump out basically like 6 rounds in like what, freaking 12 seconds is pretty ridiculous to me. The pen isn't great on it. which I guess is kind of like the balancing factor, and then the fact that it doesn't have great armor is kind of another balancing factor. It is mobile as all hell though, so it's got a really good reverse speed. So I could see it shooting and scooting quite a bit, but you know, there's definitely some kind of weird OP tanks in the game. I am enjoying my time in War Thunder compared to World of Tanks. I did also get back into World of Tanks PC, and that'll probably be another video that I make here shortly that will pop up on here. But yeah, I just, you know, I am going to, I have a fair amount of replays that I have saved just from just the low tier sort of like grind outs that I've done so far in War Thunder, and they're probably not super interesting, and they probably don't merit their own video, but yeah, you know, I might throw them up here. But I will say I am having a pretty good time playing War Thunder. It's a lot different than what I remember, but for the most part, it's enjoyable, and I don't have any huge gripes with it. Is the gameplay repetitive? Yes, but so is World of Tanks. Like, I do know people are suggesting they sort of like vary the gameplay mechanics in these modes. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, it's deathmatch. It's tank versus tank. You know, if there's enlisted where you can have tanks and people, but then that just turns into a deathmatch using infantry classes, and you have AI teammates that aren't the best. I have played enlisted. I might talk about enlisted sometime. I think the game modes that we have are okay. I think the only thing that I'm not a huge fan of is having air battles in the ground battles. Even in arcade, where you can just spawn in an airplane and sort of bomb everyone. And I kind of get it. It's like the deterrent to camping, because essentially if you have a good position and you're able to sort of camp out that position and take out the enemy team, it kind of sucks for everyone, because you're basically dug into a hole, so you kind of have that air support to take you out, close air support. It's not my favorite, but I think I would take the airplanes over artillery in World of Tanks, and that is because in World of Tanks, artillery, you can't kill it, right? Like, I mean, you can counter it with other artillery, or if you manage to push up far enough and find artillery, you can kill it. At least with close air support, you have the opportunity to possibly shoot it down in your tank, or you can spawn in your own plane and you can shoot it down in hopes to save it from taking out your ground targets. So I feel like that sort of balance is better than the balance that I have for artillery in World of Tanks. So I will give Gaijin points for at least having a slightly more counterable bombs from the sky kind of thing. So I know this is kind of a weird video. It's just a talking head video, essentially showing what tanks I've managed to grind out so far since I've stopped playing for such a long time in War Thunder. But I will say I am still playing it. I am enjoying it. It is still fun. It's a breath of fresh air compared to what I've normally been playing, and I will hopefully be able to create more content on War Thunder as I go. I'm not quite sure how I want to do it yet. I don't know if I want to do like videos on entire lineups, or if I just want to focus on a few tanks at a time that I play. It's, you know, I'm up in the air on that. Maybe we'll see me transition into realistic battles. That could be a thing as well. I just got to get better at the game first. I'm adequate at the game. I wouldn't even say I'm good at the game. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I've been working on and that I'm still playing, and I'm hoping that I will be able to get some more War Thunder stuff out here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until I catch you guys in the next video, take it easy. Bye-bye.